Good evening, and welcome to World in 15, your trusted source.
The European Union, EU, has joined the trend of major global economies in reducing its lending rate this week. The European Central Bank, ECB, announced a cut in its main interest rate from a record high of 4% to 3.75%. This decision follows Canada's move on Wednesday to lower its official lending rate. We have Shelby reporting on this.
The ECB's decision coincides with EU-wide elections taking place over the next 4 days, with voters expected to express dissatisfaction with the rising cost of living. Lindsay James, an investment strategist at Quilter Investors, noted that while the rate cut was anticipated, it would still be a relief for consumers and businesses across the continent. By taking this step, the ECB has acted ahead of the Bank of England and the U.S. Federal Reserve, both of which may still be months away from similar measures. This move is seen as providing a much-needed stimulus to an economy facing challenges. Central banks have maintained high rates over the past 2 years to control inflation, aiming for an annual rate of 2%. However, higher interest rates typically hinder economic growth. A reduction in rates is expected to encourage economic activity by making borrowing cheaper for consumers and businesses. Despite a slight increase in inflation in May, the EU's rate-setting body, meeting in Frankfurt, decided to lower rates. Inflation in the 27-nation bloc rose to 2.6% from 2.4% in April. This decision follows rate cuts in Canada, Sweden, and Switzerland, driven by falling inflation rates. Catherine Neese, chief European economist at investment firm PGIM, expressed confidence that the ECE would further reduce rates in the summer or autumn. This could result in Eurozone rates reaching 3.5% or lower by the year's end. Despite signs of recovery from the recession at the end of last year, economic growth remains sluggish, supported by slowing inflation and easing wage growth. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that update.
Canada is on the lookout for an international grocer to enter its domestic market, spurred by years of frustration from consumers over high food prices, particularly aimed at one major player. However, the question remains, would the entry of Aldi or Lidl solve this issue? We have Anthony reporting on this.
Last year, Emily Johnson vented her grievances on Reddit regarding the soaring food prices in Canada. She particularly targeted Loblaw, the dominant food retailer in the country with nearly 2,500 stores. Her Reddit group, named Loblaws is Out of Control, showcased photos of grocery items with seemingly exorbitant price tags, such as 40 Canadian dollars, $29.36, 23 pounds and 6 pence for 1.4 kilograms of chicken. This outcry led to a nationwide boycott against Loblaw, as consumers expressed frustration over the widening gap between escalating food prices and the company's record profits. Despite defending its profits, Loblaw faced backlash, with its former president Galen Weston becoming the face of food inflation in Canada. T-shirts featuring a parody Loblaw dollar logo drew copyright infringement complaints from the grocer. The ongoing boycott, initiated in May, has spurred a national dialogue on the pricing of groceries in Canada, putting pressure on not only Loblaw but other major grocers as well. Tara Suffel, a single mother in Toronto, highlighted how her $200 Canadian shopping spree used to sustain her family for a week, but now barely covers basic necessities. In response to such grievances, Canada's Federal Innovation Minister has embarked on international trips to attract the foreign grocer to enter the Canadian market, aiming to increase competition and drive down prices. However, experts caution that distinguishing themselves from existing players and addressing the country's affordability crisis will be a formidable challenge. Despite facing lower food inflation compared to the UK and US, Canada still grapples with high costs of living, exacerbated by a depreciating currency, supply chain disruptions, and rising interest rates. Moreover, the heavily consolidated nature of Canada's grocery market, dominated by a few major players like Loblaw, Empire, and Metro, further limits consumer choice and competition. The Loblaw boycott serves as a signal from Canadians demanding more options and accountability from grocery giants, who currently lack the incentive to effectively address rising food costs. Back to you, Bella.
Thanks for that update.
Netflix and filmmaker Ava DuVernay have resolved a defamation lawsuit regarding the 2019 drama series When They See Us. We have Jensen reporting on this.
The lawsuit was brought forth by Linda Fairstein, a former New York City prosecutor who alleged defamation in her portrayal in the TV series. When They See Us depicted the story of the Central Park Five Black and Latino teenagers wrongly convicted of assaulting and raping a woman in Central Park in 1989. The trial for defamation was scheduled to commence next week, but an agreement has been reached between both parties. DuVernay clarified that there was no financial settlement with Fairstein, but Netflix has agreed to donate $1 million to the Innocence Project, an organization dedicated to exonerating wrongfully convicted individuals. Additionally, Netflix will make changes to the episodes, moving the disclaimer regarding dramatization to the beginning of each episode. Industry observers have been monitoring the case to gauge its potential impact on regulations concerning biographical TV shows and films. Fairstein, who was head of sex crimes in Manhattan at the time, alleged in her 2020 lawsuit that she was portrayed falsely and defamatorily in the series. DuVernay expressed her desire for the case to proceed to trial, stating her belief that Fairstein bore responsibility for the wrongful convictions resulting from the investigation and prosecution. Fairstein's decision to settle, according to DuVernay, indicated her unwillingness to face a jury. Fairstein, in a statement, remarked that settling before trial was a difficult decision, but emphasized the importance of setting the historical record straight regarding her portrayal in the series. She expressed confidence in her ability to present a compelling case to the jury. The Central Park Five case, which captivated New York City in 1989, involved a group of teenagers, some of whom were involved in serious incidents in Central Park, while a 28-year-old woman, Trisha Meili, was assaulted and raped. The 5 young Black and Hispanic men were wrongfully convicted and incarcerated, becoming known as the Central Park Five. However, they were later exonerated. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that update.
22 Chinese nationals have pleaded guilty to cyber-related crimes in Zambia, among the group of 77 suspects arrested in April for their involvement in what authorities termed a sophisticated internet fraud syndicate. We have Alana reporting on this.
The crackdown on a Chinese-operated company in the capital city of Lusaka followed a concerning surge in internet fraud cases, which targeted individuals in various countries. The Chinese nationals are scheduled to be sentenced on Friday, according to local media reports. The Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, noted an uptick in Zambians losing money from their mobile and bank accounts due to money laundering schemes extending to foreign countries. The online scam also affected people in countries like Singapore, Peru, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and other African nations. During the arrests, numerous young Zambians were apprehended for allegedly being recruited as call center agents in the fraudulent activities, including internet fraud and online scams. After a trial spanning several weeks, the 22 Chinese nationals, including one woman, pleaded guilty to 3 charges: computer-related misrepresentation, identity-related crimes, and illegally operating a network or service. The accused, holding various positions in the Chinese-run Golden Top support services, were charged with manipulating people's identities online with the intent to defraud them. The company, situated in the upscale suburb of Roma and Lusaka, has not yet responded to the allegations. Li Xianlin, believed to be the company director, faced charges for operating the network without a license from Zambian authorities. During proceedings, the state prosecutor requested additional details about the charges. Zambian nationals charged in April were released on bail to assist authorities with investigations. These individuals were allegedly tasked with engaging in deceptive conversations with unsuspecting mobile users across platforms such as WhatsApp, Telegram, and chatrooms, utilizing scripted dialogues. The raid resulted in the seizure of equipment allowing callers to conceal their location, along with thousands of SIM cards and 11 SIM boxes capable of routing calls across legitimate phone networks. Additionally, authorities confiscated 2 firearms, approximately 78 rounds of ammunition, and impounded 2 vehicles linked to a Chinese national associated with the business. Back to you, Bella.
Thanks for that update.
a court has ruled that Google must face a £13.6 billion lawsuit alleging its excessive control over the online advertising market. The case, initiated by a group named Ad Tech Collective Action LLP, accuses the tech giant of engaging in anti-competitive practices that led to financial losses for online publishers in the UK. We have Jordan reporting on this.
Google's parent company, Alphabet, attempted to have the legal action dismissed, dismissing the case as incoherent. However, the Competition Appeal Tribunal in London has allowed the case to proceed to trial. Claudio Pollack, a former director at Ofcom and now a partner in Ad Tech Collective Action, emphasized the significance of this decision for the victims of Google's anti-competitive conduct in the ad tech sector. In response, Google's legal director, Oliver Bethel, labeled the lawsuit as speculative and opportunistic, asserting that Google would vigorously oppose it based on facts. The lawsuit revolves around advertising technology, or ad tech, which determines the display and pricing of online ads for publishers. Google's dominant position in web search makes the ad tech industry extremely lucrative, with digital advertising spending reaching $490 billion in 2021. Ad Tech Collective Action accuses Google of engaging in self-preferencing, favoring its own products over competitors, thereby reducing publishers' ad revenue and imposing high fees. Mr. Pollack expressed optimism about obtaining compensation for the UK publishing market affected by non-competitive outcomes in the relevant markets. However, the resolution of the case is expected to be protracted, with no court date set yet. The lawsuit, operating on an opt-out basis, includes all relevant UK publishers unless they choose to opt out. It is funded by an undisclosed third party, and participating UK publishers will not be responsible for costs. Meanwhile, Google faces investigations by regulators in the UK, Europe, and the US regarding its ad tech business, having already incurred substantial fines from the European Commission for anti-competitive behavior. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that update.
McDonald's has lost its exclusive right to use the label Big Mac for chicken burgers in the European Union, following a ruling by the EU's highest court. The American fast food giant popularized the term for its large burger sandwiches and registered it as a trademark in the EU back in 1996. However, a legal challenge from Supermacs, a rival chain based in Ireland, has led to other companies being granted the freedom to use the Mac name for poultry products or in their chain names. We have Ava reporting on this.
The European Court of Justice determined that McDonald's failed to demonstrate genuine use of the Big Mac trademark for a continuous period of 5 years. As a result, the court ruled that McDonald's loses the EU trademark for poultry products. McDonald's clarified in a statement that this decision does not affect its right to continue using the Big Mac trademark. However, it does create an opportunity for other chains, including Supermacs, which brought the challenge, to use the name. Supermacs, founded in Galway in 1978, operates 120 outlets across Ireland, offering both beef and chicken burgers along with chicken nuggets. The chain has been engaged in a legal battle with McDonald's for 7 years over the right to use brand terms like Mac. Supermac's managing director, Pat McDonough, hailed the ruling as a victory for small businesses standing up against powerful multinational corporations, accusing McDonald's of bullying smaller firms through trademark defense to stifle competition. McDonough highlighted that McDonald's was not actively using its trademark for restaurants, arguing that other firms should not be prevented from using the Mac term in their names. He welcomed the judgment as a vindication of small businesses everywhere. McDonald's expressed its commitment to serving local communities across Europe and did not indicate whether it intends to appeal the ruling. The ECJ's decision invalidates McDonald's trademark for restaurants and poultry products, retaining it only for the red meat burgers it originally referred to. The dispute between Supermacs and McDonald's continues in the UK, as post-Brexit EU trademark law no longer applies there. Back to you, Bella.
Thanks for that update.
Thanks for tuning in to World in 15 for your daily dose of news and updates. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on breaking stories and insightful analysis.